What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another NHL DFS puck drop. I am Hold the Door DFS at Fantasy Sports Insight. I'll be really quick here. Just hit that subscribe button below if you're new to the channel, or if you've been listening and you just haven't clicked that subscribe button. Do that, and let's get into the slate. Again, I hope you guys are enjoying this content. It has been a blast to put together this video content for NHL this season. I just hope it continues to grow the sport from a DFS perspective. And then if you're looking for, to join that NHL community, come over to FSI. We have a great group working every day on these slates. So this is really, really ugly, this slate. Excuse me, from the perspective of high totals, big money line favorites. We have the Rangers as the biggest favorite against the Devils here at minus 150. We have the best game environment in Washington and Pittsburgh with a 6.5 total. And, it's basically a pick 'em. We have the Wild coming off of a long COVID leave. And I'm not really sure what, you'll have to really make sure to see who's all actually playing tomorrow. I think that will be important. It sounds like majority of the players are going to be playing, like Fiala and Parisi and Kaprizov. And, so just make sure on the Wild, on those guys, that they are all in. So I think Dumba's expected to be back. So we'll see. Islanders minus 135 against Buffalo. So let's get into the slate. This page is really like, let's get into the slate. Center position. Nathan MacKinnon, 8.8, is really the only like true stud on the slate. In that elite tier. I think Max P is pretty close to that elite tier, but McKinnon I still think is above that. They did get shut out 1-0 against Vegas the last time. I don't really expect that to be the case here, excuse me, but I don't think it's like a smash spot either for McKinnon. But I still think he's going to garner a ton of ownership just because of, he's always flirting with the 5 shot on goal bonus. We know he always has the highest upside on any slate that he is on. So you're already looking at like a 10-point floor with him, with obviously we know an immense ceiling. So Nathan MacKinnon is firmly in play, even in a matchup against Vegas. Jack Eichel is probably GPP only for me at that price. Like if I'm going to pay 8.2 for Jack Eichel, I might as well just pay for McKinnon. Braden Point, though, I think is discounted enough. Wait. Braden Point is not on the slate. Excuse Braden Point. Nicholas Backstrom, though, is on this slate. And he is 6.7. And I think back to the last 2 years I've played serious NHL DFS. Nicholas Backstrom is not somebody that I usually ever consider in a cash pool. And not only that, but at 6.7K. So his form, though, is insane. And he was doing it without Ovechkin. Ovechkin is obviously back now. He still has been dynamic. I think he's still a little bit GPP because of his price, and I prefer Crosby at 6.4 over Backstrom. But it's just crazy to not consider Backstrom, because he's just been so good. Sidney Crosby, though, 6.4, I think will be fairly popular. As the Penguins have the highest implied total, and you compare him with the best point per dollar play on the entire slate that we will get to here in a little bit. But Crosby 6.4 is a great target. Kopitar has been in just insane form, so 6.1 for him seems a little bit steep. But if you base it on his form and you base it off of going to be playing against a Wild team that hasn't been on the ice in a game for a while, I think he can definitely pay off that tag. I think Zibanejad as the biggest favorite on the slate at 5.9 also could be one of the most popular plays on the slate. He's just due to bust out, and I think Panarin is going to be out. So I think, Zibanejad is in just a phenomenal spot under 6K, which is rare to see for him. So I think you might see a lot of people go 3 centers tomorrow if they use McKinnon. I can see Crosby and Zibanejad being really popular. Then you have Malkin. 5.4, who's also could be really popular, has kind of struggled some this season, but one of my value stacks is Malkin with Zucker and Kapanen is super cheap. I mean, you're talking like 12K maybe for that stack, 13K at the most. So it's really cheap stack. And then value, you have Eric Stahl at 4.4 with Taylor Hall, if he still stays on his side. Ryan Strome, I assume will be on the second line and not be with Zibanejad. But we'll see. I assume Zibanejad will be. Yeah, no, he won't be with him because they both play center. But Zibanejad will be with Kreider, and I think Blackwell will be on the top line. But Strome would correlate with Zibanejad on the first power play unit. And then you have Stevenson, who's continuing to skate with Max P and Mark Stone, but not getting the top power play time. And Cody Glass has seen that power play time, and that's where he has kind of made his money. Let's get to the winger position. Alex Ovechkin, to be able to finally use him on the cover, he was out for a while, and not that he was ever struggling, but he was always on slates where you were like, oh, Matthews in a smash spot, McDavid in a smash spot, McKinnon in a smash spot, and then all of a sudden Ovechkin's slotting in as number 4. I think he will be a lot. His ownership, this might be the highest ownership he gets all season so far on this slate, just with I still think people will lean McKinnon, but the matchup is better for Ovechkin. The game environment's expected to be better. So I think you can definitely consider him. I was hoping his price would be cheaper than 8.7. Max P, 7.7K is definitely in play. Don't love it, but he's good. I think Colorado is, even without Cale Makar, I think are still a decent defensive team. Mikko Rantanen, 7.5. You can pair him with Nathan McKinnon. Philip Forsberg, been in insane form, so 6.9 for him is viable. Kevin Fiala, before this, the Wild had to take a long break. I mean, the guy was double digits almost every single slate. Puts up a ton of shots on goal, and just was honestly getting really unlucky that he hasn't scored more. So I think 6.6 is definitely fair price tag for him. Mark Stone is somebody that I would pair up with Max P, and you can get full correlation there with using somebody like Shea Theodore or Alex Pietrangelo, whoever is in on that top power play unit. So then in the mid range, I think Gensel's gonna be a really nice play at 6.1. You can pair him with Crosby, and then you can also use Rust. Man, I really messed up on the typing here. That's supposed to be Eberle, the third guy. I apologize, but Anders Lee and Eberle, 2 guys for the Islanders who I think also are really good mid-range plays, and you can pair them up as well. The value down here, there was a lot of value, honestly, at winger. Riley Smith, 3.6 seems way too cheap. Greenway was in phenomenal form before their break. Saad likely skating on the top line with McKinnon, and Jeff Skinner, who skated on the top line with Jack Eichel tonight. So I know there's a couple other guys I missed. Kapanen and Zucker are always going to be guys. If they're going to be sub 4K and they're skating with Malkin, they're always definitely viable. But there probably was a couple other ones that I missed. But a lot of value at the winger position per usual on this slate. Now, the mid-range I really like here again for defender, but is not as good as it was today with Barrie, who went off, Nurse, I think, who played well, and Seth Jones. So, and then I'm missing somebody else. Seth Jones, Barrie, Nurse. Can't think of it. But Roman Josi, 7.1K. Great play. Little expensive, especially if you're going to be jamming in McKinnon and or Ovechkin. Shea Theodore, we're not sure if he's going to be back. I just want to listen them on here in case. But 6.5, he would be back in play, even with Pietrangelo. He performed really well with Pietrangelo before. I think what happens if Shea Theodore is in it, just probably like Martinez might be just a little bit overpriced. But again, Martinez's role, or his role is really, he just blocks a ton of shots. But if he puts on a couple shots on goal or gets an assist, usually he's already got the block bonus, and that's what pushes him over into double digits. So Pietrangelo, 6.2, especially if Shea Theodore continues to be out. I think that bumps Pietrangelo up. I love Fox. Fox is playing like 26, 27 minutes of ice time. Top power play unit. You can pair him with Zibanejad. Just a great DFS play, cash play. And then Martinez I already talked about, but Chris Letang is 5.1. I don't know. To me, it seems like they forgot 1,000 or 1,300. He's gonna be the first lock and load in all my lineups. So there's a free core play already off the bat. I'm gonna be locking him in every lineup that I have. The value, we have Favreau for Nashville, 3.9, who has played really well. I kind of talked about him, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago. Yesterday. That again, it's just like they breed, like defenders that are just gonna just shoot and block shots, and that's what he does. So then we get into some nice value here. I think Graves and Byram there at the bottom, I think will be really popular value plays. Colorado will be without Makar. And I think we just saw last game, both of them, see the increase in ice time and production. I think Byram's going to be on the first power play unit again. So 2.9, I think he's going to be really, really chalky, honestly. And Mayfield as well for the Islanders is way too cheap, in my opinion, at 2.6K. He's always got block bonus potential, and he's pretty active offensively too. Goalie position, again, per usual, my least favorite position to talk about. And look at him, added Fleury twice, just because I was like, I'll just get off this page, right? Igor, 8.2, I think is in a good spot at home, and honestly has played really well, even in losses. If you go through his game logs, like he's, I think lost, 3 games where he's put up over 15 DK, where he's only given up like 1 or 2 goals and still had like 25 plus saves. So definitely in play there. I expect Ottinger to start since Kudobin played tonight. So I think he's in play against Nashville. Varlamov, I just really like his form for the Islanders. So if you think the Islanders can win again on the road against Buffalo, then I think he's in play at 8.1. And then Fleury and Grubauer here in the mid-range. I think both of them are in play, just depending on which side of the game that you like. Like if you play in McKinnon, then I probably would consider Grubauer over Fleury. But if you are fading McKinnon, then I think Fleury is definitely viable. Peterson, I expect him or Quick to start for LA. Again, if we just see like a half wild team come suit out for some reason, then I think, the money line will definitely move in the favor of LA. And then I think one of these guys would be whoever starts, Quick or Peterson, would be probably one of the most popular value goalies on the slate. And then Hutton is probably going to be, I assume, in net for Buffalo. And I think as a slight home dog, I think he is viable at 7.2. So let's get to the stacks here. Ovechkin, Backstrom, and Carlson are the 3 that I like for the capital stacks, and McKinnon, Rantanen, and Byram for Colorado. Sidney Crosby, Rust, Gensel, and Letang, and Malkin is a great stack too. You probably can't get all of them in, but I put Malkin down here with Malkin and Kapanen. But I really, really like Zibanejad, Kreider, and then if you want to go even strength that I put there, Blackwell, that would be those 3. Then you add in Fox for even strength and power play, and then you add in Kako for another power play option. So a lot of really nice plays. I think, just to kind of summarize, I think Letang will be extremely popular and one of my favorite plays. I think Zibanejad will be really popular. I think people will be deciding between McKinnon or Ovechkin and probably not playing both. And then probably using like Crosby or Malkin as their second center, and then paying down at winger after, paying up maybe at one of those spots. But I think there's a lot of really decent value on the slate, and it should be a fun one, even though the totals are fairly low. So thanks again for listening, guys. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, thumbs up. All good. See you later.